Hi, I'm Jerry Stube with the Quilters Quarters. For the last number of years, I have been designing quilts, particularly blocks of the month, and my special interest is women's history in the blocks of the month. So today I want to show you a new one. This is called Doctors in Dresses. I became fascinated with the idea of what women had done in medicine a number of years ago and started designing blocks and working on how I wanted this quilt to look, looking for just the right line of fabric. So today, let me introduce you to the Doctors. As we went through and are going through this COVID pandemic, and I have seen so much of what Dr. Deborah Birx has done, and being a lifelong scarf wearer, she's one of my heroes, I am dedicating this quilt to her. Each block will represent one woman in the history of medicine in our country. As you get interested, and I hope you do, in these women, you'll find this is just scratching the surface of the history on women in medicine. But it was a start. So I'm going to turn the camera around where you can see the quilt, and I'll go over some of the blocks with you. Just a moment. Okay. Here we are looking at the quilt. I'll back up a little bit so maybe you can see the whole thing. Isn't she pretty? There are 12 blocks. The first block, which is this one, that one I've dedicated to Patty Sessions. She was a Mormon physician and midwife. She was born in 1795. Now her history is really fascinating, and each block as we work through it will include a photograph of the individual, that we're going to chronicle. She was really fascinating. By the time she had died, she had left 2 sons, 32 grandchildren, 137 great-grandchildren, and 22 great-great-grandchildren. She is recognized by the Mormon Church as the mother of Mormon midwifery. I think she was just fascinating. The second block was dedicated to Jeanette Bowles. She was born in 1862 in Kansas, where my store used to be, and she graduated from Kansas State University in 1885. She was really another one of those truly fascinating women. And as I went through the blocks, we won't go through all of the histories here. They're not complicated blocks, but I think the line of fabric really adds to it. This line of fabric is called Ruby. It is done by Bonnie Sullivan from Maywood Fabrics. I just loved it. It was feminine and yet not fussy. These were strong women who did some difficult things. I love this block. Isn't that pretty? Of course, my long arm quilter has done a marvelous job of accenting all of the fabrics. This setting block has, I don't know if you can see it in this video. She did a marvelous job there. I just loved it. Now, when I got down to the last block, down here, that's block 12, I wanted to find somebody in history that really kind of set off where we were. Dr. Margaret Craighill. She was an Army doctor. She went through quite a bit to become part of the medical history of the military during the Second World War. And she did a lot of things afterwards as well. And she died in 1977. A quote from her that I found particularly interesting. She says, "I must acknowledge that I am feeling discouraged over any progress I can make in regard to establishing better conditions for women doctors. There is such a deep-rooted prejudice that arises in such unexpected place, it leaves me completely baffled sometimes." we have certainly come a long way since then. This block of the month will be available in your local quilt shop. I hope if you don't see it there that you ask for it. Give you a little peek of that border fabric. Isn't that just gorgeous? Feminine and yet not fussy. This is an easy quilt to make. The blocks are not complicated, but they're interesting. So I hope you'll ask for it at your local quilt shop. If you can't find it, drop me a note and I will be glad to try to find you a shop that is carrying it. And that is the Quilters, QTRS.com. So it's Quilters Quarters. Quarters is abbreviated. QUILTERS, QTRS.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.